We're trying to learn Cypress automation by automating certain scenarios. So for that we are using this automation practice website, the internet.herokuapp.com. So yesterday we have automated few of the scenarios for login authentication, right? And file upload related test scenarios we have seen. Yeah. So today we'll continue and see some other scenarios. So since we done with file upload test, let's see with the file download related test. Yeah. So here, if you see, there is a file download page. Okay, link. If you click that, you'll get this download link. Okay, so here there's a some file called some file.txt, right? Okay, let's try to automate this by when we click this, it should download, and we should see the contents of the file. So I have downloaded the file. Since it is downloading, I'm also trying to check the content of the file. Okay, so for that let's write the code. Okay, so here this is for file download test. Okay, download test.sci.js. So same, we are using describe method, and describe method takes two arguments. One is string and other is an arrow function. Okay, so the scenario is file download, testing, file download. So the test case can be written using it method, and it method also takes two arguments. One is string and other is an arrow function, right? The string, the test case we can write here. So it should basically it should download a file, and also we have to verify its contents. Okay, download a file and verify its contents. Verify its contents. Okay, so that's the test case we need to write, we need to automate. Okay. So for that we need to visit the page. So what is the method to load the page? Visit. So visit. So in that I'm giving this it takes a string argument, and we are passing the URL. Yeah. So once we pass the URL, now I need to click this link. So for that I need to get an element of this. So I have to go to inspect, right click, and if you see I want some file.txt. Okay, some file.txt. So here so there is a tag and there is a attribute. Okay, there's no ID here, class here. Okay, so based on this tag and attribute name and attribute value, I can find this element. Okay, so now I'm writing I'm trying to find using tag name and attribute and its value. Okay, so side dot get is a method to get the elements. So get, here we have attribute a, right? And sorry, tag name is a, right? Tag name a. Okay, and attribute. So I'm using a combination of tag name and attribute. So attribute will be present in the square bracket, right? Yesterday we saw different ways to find the elements, right? So I'm using this one where I'm using multiple things here. Last one. So here tag name, attribute, right? Things like that. So here in file download test, so tag name is a, and the attribute will be written in square brackets. So here attribute name is href. Okay, equal to, instead of typing, you can copy the whole thing, it will be easy. Okay, yeah, if you copy this whole thing and paste it here, it will be easy. So inside the square brackets I'm pasting this. Yeah, so now I found the element. Once I found the element, what I have to do, I need to click on it. So what method we need to use? Click method. So dot click method. Okay, so sorry, this will click the this will download the file, but where it will download, right? So what will happen is it creates a downloads folder. Okay, whenever something is downloaded, it creates a downloads folder under this Cypress folder. So currently there is no downloads folder here, right? So we only have E2E fixtures and support folders, right, under Cypress. So we will get another folder called downloads, and then it will download this file over there. Okay, so now in order to verify the contents of that file, right, we need to get that downloads folder, that path basically. Okay, so what I'll do is, so here next is currently I'm verifying whether I'm verifying the contents of the file. Okay, clicking is over, downloading is over. Now here verifying the contents of the file, verifying the contents of the file. Okay, so here I say uh, const downloaded path, let's say downloaded path equal to, so so there is a so because it's under Cypress, right? So basically there's a method we can call using cypress.config. Config is a method, okay, which is used to call the key where the path will be stored. Okay, so I can say the same name I can give. So here downloaded path. Okay, so what this statement is means, this downloaded path is a key. In that key there is a value that is stored in this key. That value is nothing but the path of the downloaded file. Okay, this some file.txt, wherever it gets downloaded, that path will be stored in this key. Okay, and we can call that key, and okay, we can trigger that key, or we can get the value of that key using this cypress.config method. You can get the value of the key using this cypress.config method. That now once you get, you are storing that in a variable downloaded path. Okay, it can be any variable here. Okay, there is no need that these two should be same, but in general, in real time, we generally use like this. Okay, so because they both denote the same. Okay, so downloaded path. Now we have that downloaded path, right? Once we have, we use read file method. So sci dot read file method. So we use read file method, okay, in order to read the contents of the file. Okay, where is that file? It's in the downloaded path, and the file name is some hyphen file.txt, right? So that I need to provide here. So since I need to use this downloaded path, okay, I'm using quotes, okay, backticks, sorry. Okay, so we know how to use backticks, right? So backticks dollar, okay, I want the value that is present in the downloaded path. Okay, so this whole downloaded path should the value I want here. Okay, once I get the value, I need to go to some file.txt, some hyphen file.txt. txt. Yeah, to get the dollar symbol represents, we saw in the first in the JavaScript classes as well, right? Sorry, dollar flower brackets and the variable. So then you will get the value of that variable. Okay, so if you put only download path, it will be a string, but you right, it's a variable. But you know, if you want the value of that variable, you need to put in dollar flower brackets and then that variable name. Okay, so here you'll get Cypress slash Cypress slash downloads slash some file dot txt you'll get. Okay, because the value of downloaded path, whatever it is, it will be coming here. Okay, and then slash some file dot txt. Now that txt file will be read. Okay, once it reads, it should contain. Okay, now accession, we are doing the accession, right? It should should also takes uh, two two arguments, right? It should contain, we are saying it should contain what are the file, let's say some text. Okay, but there is not some text there in the file, right? We saw some gibberish is there. So I'll copy that content now. Okay, so okay, if I go to the download, so here, yeah, so this is the content there. Okay, I don't know what this content is, I'm just copying. Okay, so I'm copying and pasting here. There's a lot of mistakes, I think, because I there is slashes and all, it's getting confused. So let's use some. Okay, the whole, yeah, it can check whole content. Okay, um, okay, so here let's say this some text is there, right? Let's say this file contains this text. Okay, I don't know what this is, so further natural. Okay, so this text is present in this whole content. Okay, so we are trying to assert that if that is there, then it should pass. Okay, so I'm saving this. Okay, now let's try to execute this. Till here, any doubt? Right, we are first visiting the page, getting the web element using this tag name and attribute, and then clicking the download button, and then it downloads the file in under downloads folder, creates a downloads folder, and put that file some file.txt under download folder. And once we have the file, we are trying to verify the contents of the file. For that, we are using this cypress.config, and it takes a key where the value of that path will be stored here. Okay, so this method will store that value under this variable, and we are using that variable to read the contents of that file. Okay, and once it reads the content, we are making sure it has this text in it. Okay, it should contain this text. So that's the assertion we are doing there. Okay, now I'm trying to trigger the what is the command to run or to open the Cypress? Yeah, npx Cypress open. Yeah, so yeah, let's see. Okay, so end-to-end test. I'm using Electron. Yeah, if you see the file which we have written, that is file download test sci.js. Now I'm triggering it, and when I click it, it starts loading and running. Okay, it's visiting the link. Yeah, it has already clicked it. Okay, so should, yeah, the session is failed because what is it? Undefined. So it is unable to read this downloaded path. Okay, so I think there's a specific name for this. See, downloads is there now. Okay, and this file is also downloaded, but the session is sorry, it is unable to get the path exactly of that. So let's see. I think it is downloaded path. I think it should be downloads folder. It's downloads folder. Okay. Okay. Let's. Okay. I've. It starts running again. Okay. I've changed the. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That is correct. So the session is passed. Okay. Okay, so this test case is passed. Okay, so here it's a downloads folder. It's we cannot change that name. It's not a regular like any name we can't put here, because downloads folder is a specific name that is given to store the value of the path that has been of this path generally. Okay, wherever it is downloaded, that path will be stored in downloads folder. Okay, so now we are getting the value of that downloads folder here. Okay, so it's better to remember this downloads folder. Okay, I can, this can be any name, but it's better to give the same name, okay, everywhere. So I'm changing this. So again I'm running it, so it starts running. Yeah, I just changed the name, so it should pass. That's fine. Okay, any doubt till here? Yeah. So we saw downloads, right? So now let's go back. File upload is done, file download is done. Let's see the check boxes. Okay, okay, check boxes. So if you open this check boxes uh, URL, so here this is unchecked and this is checked, right? There are two check boxes here. So how to get these two check boxes? Let's write test cases by checking this and again unchecking it. Okay, this one also, by when we uncheck it goes off, and when we check it again comes back. Okay, let's do that and assert that. Okay, so checkbox test dot site, let's okay, so let's create, not in the downloads, it's in the test. It is checkbox, sorry, test, yeah, checkbox test dot site dot js. Okay, again same, describe. It takes two values. One is string and other is a arrow function. In the string we need to write the scenario name, checkboxes. Okay, checkboxes validation, checkboxes. Okay, let's keep it simple, checkboxes test. So in the test case is written using it. So it has also takes two arguments. One is string and the other is an arrow function. Okay, so here in the we have to write the test case name. So test case is like we are selecting and unselecting or deselecting checkboxes, right? We are unselecting and deselecting checkboxes, let's say. So we should, this test case we are checking, it should select and deselect checkboxes. Okay. So this is the test case name. So first regular one. So first we need cy dot, why is taking this. cy dot visit it. So visit takes one string. Okay, here is that we have to put the URL. Okay, so once we visit the page, what we have to get? We have to get the elements of these checkboxes, right? In order to click a check and uncheck. Okay, now let's get the element. So if you go here, yeah, so it has the, so this one checkbox 1 and this is checkbox 2, right? So input here. So input, so we have tag name, right? And we have attribute. So tag name, attribute. But if you see, this one and this one have same tag name and attribute. Okay, now let's see how to differentiate between two elements that have same tag name and attribute values. Okay, let's see how to do that. So now cy.get is the method we are using. Get, now we are using tag name and attribute, right? So tag name is generally written, tag name can be written directly, and attribute, okay, so it's, so I'm trying to double click it. Yeah, so here I'm copying this. So here attribute name and value should be in the square brackets. Okay, so and I'm copying that here, copying and pasting. Okay, now we got the this element, but there are two elements. Okay, but if I leave this like that, okay, it will take the whichever the first one, it will take it. Okay, but when I try to do this, still it will take the first one, because both are having same tag name and attribute names and values. Okay, so in order to differentiate, I have, because these are the list of input fields, right? Input tags inside this form field. Okay, so this is 0th position, right? And this is first position. Okay, so we can say equals, okay, dot equal 0. Okay, that means it will take the first step, which, so whenever I say input type equal to checkbox, it will collect all the inputs and type equal checkboxes, like that means it will put it in a list. Okay, in that list it will start with 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay, now I want, from that list I want first one. So first one is index is 0, so equal 0. So now it will take exactly the first one. Okay, so equal now dot, now I want, what I want to do, I want to check this box. So there is a simple method called check. Okay, in order to check the box. Any doubt? So once it is checked, I want to assert it, right? I want to assert saying dot, it should be checked, right? It should. So there's a simple way of checking it. We have b dot checked, b dot checked. It will assert, it will check whether it is checked or not. Okay, so this should these methods, okay, these methods are present in a documentation, Cypress documentation. Okay, whenever we have any questions, what methods we can use related to the sessions, we can go and check there. Okay, at one point of time I'll show that documentation as well. Okay, but for now we will see different methods like this, different types of assertions. Okay, using should. Okay, so this is should be checked. Okay, now it will check whether we have checked it or not. Checked means it should have tick mark. Okay, check means it should have tick mark, it will tick basically. Okay, uncheck means it will remove the tick. Okay, now so first I have done this, and I say should be dot checked, right? Now I will uncheck it and say b dot not dot b dot checked. Okay, so that one. So Cypress, I can, till here it's the same, right? I'll copy till here. Till here it is same, but here it's not checked. Here it should be unchecked. Okay, instead of check, it should be unchecked because it's already checked. Now we are unchecking it. Okay, CHECK. Okay, so and once it is unchecked, we have to again assert. We have to assert it. Okay, assert. It should be now unchecked. So that means it should not dot be dot checked. Any doubt? Yeah. So that is for first checkbox. Okay. Now second checkbox is already checked, right? So first I have to uncheck it, okay, and then assert it. Again I'll check it and then assert it. Okay. Yeah. So because it's a second checkbox, what I have to write? Yeah. So till here it is same, right? Yeah. So till cy dot. Okay. I'll put the whole thing here. Okay, so here same element, but it should be first one. The first one in the sense index one. That means it should be second checkbox. Okay, so now since it is already checked, I need to uncheck first. Okay, so I'm saying unchecked dot. Now I need to assert whether really it got unchecked or not. I need to check. So that for that I am using assertion should. Okay, should because it is unchecked, it should not be checked. Not dot be dot checked. Clear? Yeah. So now since it is unchecked, now I want to check it. And the second one I want to check it. So here equals, sorry, here equals 1, right? And then it should check it and it should be checked. Any doubt? Yeah. So let's see this, okay? Since I haven't closed this Cypress, okay? Now if you observe, there is a file here, checkbox test cy.js. Okay, now I can click that. So it starts as down. Okay, see, assertions are, all the assertions are passed. If you observe, there are for the first one it went here and then checked it. Okay, and then again unchecked it. Okay, again the second one is unchecked, and finally it again checked. Yeah. uh, so that is how we learned about how if there are same, same elements with the same tag name and attribute values, then we can differentiate by using equals. From that list we can select by index with the equal eq method. Okay, yeah. So this is about checkboxes. Okay, now let's see. Okay. So here we go back. Let's see drop downs. Where is drop? Yes, drop down. So here drop downs, right? When you drop down, you'll get the list of options, and we can select either any one of them. So yeah, yeah. So okay, so let's go back. Okay, so what is it? Um, so drop down. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So let's write drop down. Drop down test dot side.js. Yeah. Just a second. I have a tea with me, so it's yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. so same thing, right? We do describe describe. It takes two arguments. One is string and other is an arrow function. And the describe, which the currently we are testing drop down related tests. So drop down tests. Okay, drop down, and this has multiple. You can have multiple tests. So that is written under it method. So it takes two arguments. So one is string and other is an arrow function. So test case we are going to write is we are selecting an option from the drop down, right? So it should select, okay, it should select an option from the drop down, right? So here sci dot result. So let's go to the URL and paste the URL in the string. Okay, in the string. Okay, so once we visit there, okay, so same here is I'll reload this page once. Yeah, now if I need to select the options here. If I go to the code, HTML code, here we have ID drop down. So once we have that ID drop down, right? Now I'll click this then and I'll go here. Yeah, so we have value 1, option value 1, option value 2, and things like this, right? So let's see how to so first thing, we can get the drop down by using ID, since we have ID there, right? So there is a special method called select for especially for drop down. Okay, for drop down you need to remember that you need to use the method called select. Okay, so how to use that method we'll see now. Okay, so cy.get so get, here we are using ID. So IDs generally start with hash. So hash, what is the ID here? ID is drop down. Okay, I'm copying that and pasting here. So now I got this this option, so this element. So now in order to select, or in order to click it, we don't say click, okay, because it's a drop down. We directly say select method. We directly use select method. Okay, this select method takes a string which is nothing but it takes the text of the options. So if you say, you see here there is text here, option 1, option 2. Okay, so these are the texts that are appearing there. Okay, so option 1. Okay, let's say I'm selecting option 1. So it selects option 1. Okay, now it selects option 1. Now I'm asserting. So in order to check whether it's really selected or not, I am asserting using should. Okay, should. So now while using should, we have, for especially for drop downs, okay, we have a way of asserting, saying have value. Okay, so if I say have dot, here you say value, right? There is an attribute called value, so we are checking that attribute. Okay, have value comma 1. Here what is the value here of this option? Value equal to 1 value. So we are checking this value is having 1. Okay, that means this first option is selected or not. Okay, we are not going by selecting this text. Okay, we are going by whether the first option is being chosen or not. Okay, here value 2 is the second one, right? So first one is this. Okay, so for drop downs especially, we use a special method called select. Okay, and we select based on We can select based on text, okay, and we can assert based on have dot value, because we have attribute called value and it has a value of 1, okay. This option 1 text, uh, respect to option 1 text attribute, here we have value which is having a value of 1, yeah. Uh, no, we are selecting option 1, right? When we click here, we are selecting option 1, okay. So that option 1 I'm writing here, okay. Now when checking it, I'm using this attributes, whether for the option 1, since it has value equal to 1, I'm checking that condition here, whether if that is the case, then it has selected the first option only, okay. So that's how, that is first option, right? Now second, so cy dot, similarly second one I'm also clicking and doing, okay. I'm selecting first time I'm selecting option 1, second time I'm selecting option 2, okay. So here again the same drop down, okay, hash drop down, and I can select, this time I'm using select method, I'm selecting option 2, okay. So I'm sorry, selecting option 2. Now dot should, okay, here value is equal to 2, right? So should have dot value comma 2, should have dot value comma 2, okay. Any doubt? So this is for drop down, okay. You need to remember select method and should have value uh, 1, okay. Select method especially for drop down, so that you need to remember. You should not say dot click, okay. Generally we went here and clicked it, right? Instead of clicking, you need to say we need to select, okay. We click it and then select, right? So the whole thing will be done using select once you find the element, okay. Let's see that on the on here. So if you see here, we have a drop down test, right? So we can execute that directly. So it is opening the drop down URL, selecting first option and then second option, okay, and then asserting it, okay. First it selected the first option, right, and then asserted it, second, select second option and then asserted it, okay. Any doubt? Okay, so this is about drop down. I think there are others as well. Let's see some other today. It's fine. We have. So I'm going back on this one. Okay. So this. Uh, we have some. Okay, let's see some dynamic content here. Okay. So this dynamic content is like this. You have these three text and these three images, right? Generally. So if we reload, okay, the order will change and then this whole thing will change. Did you observe? The text will change, it will reorder, it randomly it reorders, okay. So what we have to do now is, once we visit this page, okay, we should get, let's say we want to get this text, okay. We'll get the text and reload the page, okay. Once we reload the page, again get the text, okay, of this third row, get the text, and we should compare and see they are not same. That's what dynamic content is, right? If they are same, then it is static. If they are not same, that means it is dynamic, okay. That's what we are testing. Okay, let's see see the test now. So I'm using dynamic content test dot site.js. Yeah. So the same pattern. First is describe and then it. So let's do that. So describe. It takes two arguments. One is string, and the other is arrow function. So in the string we can put the scenario name, dynamic content, and then we can write multiple test cases if we want, but let's see one test case. It method also takes two arguments. One is a string and other is arrow function. So it here in the string we can write the name of the test case, we can title of the test case. Here it should verify, right? It should verify whether the content changes dynamically or not, right? So it should verify verify content changes dynamically. Yeah. So that's the test case we are trying to test. Okay, site dot visit. We are visiting a particular URL. So I'm copying this URL and pasting here, right? So okay, once we visit, okay, so we need to get the content of this row. Okay, so here I'm trying to find the code, HTML code for this text. So it is here. Okay, if I go up, okay, there is an ID here. We can get this ID. Okay, and then there are div class row, so this is the third row, which from which I want to get the text. So anyway, text is in only one place here, other place is image, right? Yeah, so the reason there can be different same class names, okay, for different different containers as well. In different containers there can be same class names, okay. So we, instead of depending on direct class dot this one, I want to go for ID first because ID is unique, okay. So I'm going for this whole whole container, okay. So it will separate, I mean it will go to this container. Now from there I want to go to because they have three div classes here, okay. So if you see, there are three divs, okay. First one, second one, third one, okay. I want the third one, so I go to the third one and select the text, okay. So for this third one I'm using like div for all the three. I can use tag name dot class, right, because it's a class, okay. So let's see how to do that. So once I can then later assert. Yeah. So once I need to again reload this page and again get the content and then compare. Yeah. So that's what we are trying to do here. Yeah. So okay, let's so sci dot get, what is content, and then row, content row. So I go to sci dot, okay, sci dot get. So here I'm using ID and I'm going to this row. From ID, from this content, I'm going to this class, to this row. So this ID and row are common for all these three. So I'm going for ID using hash. So hash ID is ID values content, and then I'm using this row as well. Okay, this class. So value is row dot row. Okay, so go to the ID, this ID, and go to this class. Okay, so it goes to the ID first, and then from there to the class. But I don't want the first one, I want the third one. So we know how to get the third one. Since now it gets the list of things, from there I can get the uh, third row. But I don't need the entire column, right? Sorry, entire row, because in that entire row I have two things. One is an image and other is a text. Okay, I want only the text, right? So for that, what I have to do, what I can do is, whenever I want to, once I get the element from there, I want to segregate things, I need to use then method. Okay, so dot then. Okay, so inside then it will then will take an arrow function. Okay, so once we get this element, but this element has two things. One is a two again, it has two rows, right? Two columns, right? One column has a picture image and other column has text. I want the text. So now I want to segregate image from only the second part I want. Okay, so here I can say from the, let's say this is the initial content, initial content. Okay, so whatever this, it will take this whole element, right? And then it will pass into this initial element. Okay, now I have this initial element to work on. Okay, so now I say I want text from that initial content. Okay, so const let's say initial text. I want this, I'm saving that initial text in this variable. Okay, so from the initial content, content from the initial content, okay, I want the second 0. So this is 0 1 2, right? I go to the go to the third row. For third row, what is the index? 2, right? So it's a list, it starts from 0, right? 0 1 2. So third row will be will be found in the second index. Okay, so dot equals 2. Okay, so from there I want text. So whatever text is there in between the tags, okay, so here it will go here. So this is the only text we have, okay, under this third row. Okay, I'm segregating this text now. Now once I segregate, the whole text will be here, and it is stored in the initial text. Okay, so this now I got the initial text. Once I get the initial text, what I have to do? Now I need to reload. Okay, yeah, once I reload, because it's a dynamic content, this text will change, right? So now I'm reloading it. So for that, I say sci dot reload. There is a method called reload. So sci dot reload. Any doubt? So it will reload. Okay, once it's reload, again I can use the same content, right? So I can say same sci dot get, because I need to again compare, right? I need to go to the same uh, row, right? Same row. So same again, I have to use this ID content. Again I need to grab the element once it is reloaded. So I'm grabbing the element now. Once I grab the element, I am then manipulating that element by using then method. So in this then this then method will take takes a arrow function. So here I'm writing the arrow function. So inside this, now since the content has changed, I'm saying I can say new content. Okay, since the content has changed, it's a new content now, right? So that new content, I from that new content, I want only the text. Okay, so I'm saving the text in the new text. Okay, or initial text, right? So I can say uh, uh, new content, right? So this it can, I don't think we want then method now, because we can directly assert this, right? So let's see how to assert this directly instead of going to then. Okay, no need to then. We can say should. Yeah, let's see how to do this. Okay, let's see, should, it should this, okay, should also takes basically then method. We can also should method, use should method here, because should method can also take a because we are trying to assert and compare, right? So in order for the assertion, should method will also take a, the arrow function. Okay, so that's why I, instead of then, I'm using should. Okay, because we are trying to assert here. Yeah, so if I say should, and it will take an arrow function as well, so I'm writing that one in the uh, I'm writing the arrow function inside the should method. So this so here I'm saying new content. Okay, instead of then, I'm using should method because we are trying to assert, and because should method can also take the arrow function, I'm using the arrow function here. Okay, inside arrow function, whatever new content will be stored in this variable. Okay, okay, whatever the element is we got using this get this content and row, that will be stored in the new content here. Okay, now what we are trying to see is, we are there is a method called expect. Okay, it's an assertion, it's also one of the assertion. Okay, method. So expect, we are expecting new content, right? Dot equal, okay, eq, again the same thing I'm writing here. Okay, initial content equals text. Now here uh, new content equals text, equals dot text, right? So equals again second index dot, again I'm using the text method. So this text method I'm expecting, okay, to be this whole thing dot. Okay, this expect has is okay multiple methods dot not. Okay, we are not, it should not be equal to, right, not to equal initial text. Yeah, it's a bit till now we didn't use this expect method, but yeah, so let's see, let's again check what we have written here. Okay, so what I'm doing, instead of then method here, okay, first of all, we are using then method. Why we are using then method? Because we want to segregate things from the element we have got from the get method. Okay, this element has multiple things, we want to segregate the text from it. So in order to do that, I'm passing that element whatever we got from side.get, I'm passing that using the then method into the arrow function here in the initial content. Okay, this variable holds that element now, whole element. Okay, from that element, from that initial content, I'm going to second index, that means third row, I'm going there, and then I'm grabbing the text from there. That whole text I'm saving in the initial text variable. Okay, so till here it is clear. Okay, next I'm using sci.reload. Now I'm reloading the page. Okay, using reload method. Once I reload the page, now I'm using sci.get method. Again I'm getting the element, but this time I'm not using then method. Instead, I'm using should method because I'm trying to compare. Okay, I'm trying to assert. So because should method also takes an arrow function, I'm writing an arrow function here. In that, whatever element we got from sci.get, that element is stored in the new content again. Okay, this time I'm using new content. Okay, in that I'm storing this element. Now I'm using a method called expect, which is an assertion method. Okay, so I'm using that expect method. What I'm expecting, so new content dot equals of 2 dot text. Again I'm using to get the text of that element. Okay, whatever element I have in the new content, I'm going to the second index, that is third row, and grabbing the text. Once I get the text, I'm expecting not to equal to the initial text. Okay, so that's how this we can compare two texts here. Okay, any doubt? So now I'll try to let's see, let's run it. Okay, so what it is dynamic content. So dynamic content is already here now, so let's click it and see if it is running fine. Yeah, first it is visiting, and yeah, now it is reloading. Okay, so now yeah, it is asserting. Any doubt? So this whole thing is passed now. Yeah, so this is how we compare the text. This is about dynamic content. Clear? Yeah, okay, then let's stop here today.